realize that God is in charge. He's tired, he's mad, angry, he's coming. He ain't gonna spare us no more. Yes? He's not gonna spare us no more. I'm letting you know. He's not gonna do it.
They can't come look. We've lost our cars, everything. We've lived here for 30 years and this has never happened. So anybody, please, if you have a boat or something, I need help. I need to get my dad out of here. It's starting to smell like sewer in here.
You mean to tell me this exact flood hit the same river about 30 years ago where unalived kids at a camp?
Good evening. It was a nightmare in broad daylight in South Texas today when a bus and a van carrying campers were caught in high waters en route to a rafting expedition. 43 people tried to reach high ground. They were swept away, most of them teenagers. Tonight, 2 are dead, 8 are missing, and 33 have been rescued. NBC's Jane Peterson reports from Comfort, Texas, which is just south of San Antonio.
Rescue efforts began almost immediately to save the teenagers floundering in the swirling Guadalupe River. Helicopters pulled some of the teenagers from trees. Most of the victims hung on and reached safe ground, although one 16-year-old lost her grip and died hours later.
It's hard to get to them through the trees.
So what's the next step?
Go back out there and try again.
The teenagers were being evacuated from Camp Pot of Gold, a Baptist church camp, during a driving rainstorm. It had begun early this morning, dumping about 11 inches of new water into the rising Guadalupe. At 8:30, their bus driver headed onto a flooding bridge.
Buses stalled out and the water was it was real deep, so we were going to try to get out and get to the road. It wasn't too far back, and it started washing people away.
Workers tried to keep an accurate list of who had been rescued and who was still missing.
Get their birthday, names, addresses.
The teenagers, all of them cold, were rushed to 2 nearby hospitals. 2 of the survivors are described as being in serious condition. After doctors examined them, most of the teenagers were taken to a school shelter. They looked relieved, but some said they worried about their friends.
I'm glad I'm here, but I'm scared for everybody else who hadn't made it yet.
Back home in Dallas at the Seagoville Baptist Church, which had sent the children to camp, parents waited for word about their children.
We just got in contact with the hospital. She's okay. She's with Teresa.
She's okay, baby. She's okay.
The level of the Guadalupe River is dropping, now below flood stage at the accident site. The rescue effort is continuing. Workers say they'll keep searching past nightfall until every teenager has been found. Jane Peterson, NBC News, Comfort, Texas.
One rescuer took 6 teenage girls from a tree. He said they were holding hands at the time. They were praying, and understandably, they were hysterical.
What type of coincidence is that? What type of signal? What type of cycle? That's crazy, y'all. This flood didn't just come out of nowhere. It's like history is repeating itself almost 30 years to the day. Back in 1987, the same Guadalupe River flooded.
What if I told you the flooding in Texas is yet another land grab, allegedly? By the way, obviously, tragic loss of life, awful stuff. I just want to say that no matter what happened, tragedy, okay? But I guess it'd be kind of crazy if the city council had approved a $175 million power plant project in Caryville, Texas. This is right by where the flooding happened. Of course, you have the Doge cuts, which may have played a part in the lack of response, lack of preparedness. By the way, has anyone gone to jail from all the stuff they found in the Doge audits? Just a question. And wouldn't it be crazy if the map of rain enhancement projects in Texas seems pretty heavy loaded on the area which had flooding? I guess it'd be kind of crazy if the river rose 42 feet in just 1 to 3 hours, which is unimaginable. Of course, the Christian summer camp was a camp for the elite's children. And that red dot was on the radar all day, the day of the floods.
And before jumping into screaming, it's normal, pay attention in what I have to say, okay? Binary person, wait and listen. What is happening in Texas is not just weather. Floods, yes, but this pattern, no. Something else is going on. Yes, Texas has seen major floods before, 1986, 2001, and even a few weeks ago in San Antonio. We are not denying that, but this time, no hurricane, no radar warning, no dam breach, no days of build-up, just a sudden overnight up to 38 feet flood. That's not climate, that's a trigger. If you think all of this is natural and that humans aren't capable of controlling weather, just Google Operation Popeye, Project Cyrus, HAARP ionospheric heater. Weather warfare ban, UN Treaty 1978. And if you dare, just Google Bernard Eastlund. He was a physicist. He held patents for tech that could literally heat the ionosphere. And yes, it was used later on for the HAARP technology that I just told you. This isn't a theory, it's a weapon, and it's not in the future, it's happening now. And if you still doubt it, just Google it. China used weather modification techniques, especially and specifically cloud seeding, to attempt to clear the skies and prevent rain during 2008 Beijing Olympics. In 2008, they used that. Imagine what they do now. Can you see it already? No, you can't. You see a mimic of a hurricane without a hurricane, and you still call it as normal. And that's how the system manipulates and programs you to think that everything that they create is normal. Another American city drowned without a warning. If you still think this is just the weather, you are already underwater. This wasn't just a rogue storm. This was the remnants of Tropical Storm Chantal. Okay, so why no storm warnings? No forecast alerts, no time to evacuate. A sudden record-breaking flood. Children and elderly completely affected. 1 woman died and 2 canoeists are missing until the moment of this video. If it was just a remnant, not a hurricane, not even a full storm. So explain me how a downgraded tropical depression caused the record-breaking river surges, spontaneous roads collapses, and over 130 water rescues in 24 hours. Without proper warning radar, alerts, or warning sirens. If Chantal was predictable, where is the predictability? Where is the predictive tech? Where? If you're still clinging to, it's just a storm. So explain why it behaved nothing like the models we had in the past. No alerts, no timeline, no evacuation, just sudden flood. Add that to the fact that several US cities are going to become smart cities by 2030, and no, this is not a conspiracy theory, you can just Google it. Add to it the fact that China has been manipulating weather since Beijing 2008, the Olympics. It's out there on the internet, go research. You can also research Operation Popeye. And if you dare, go research Bernard Eastlund's patents. But this one is a little more serious. And then, maybe just then, you will wake up a little bit. Asking why the patterns don't end up, it's no lack of respect. It's no lack of empathy for the victims. It's us making questions that you don't dare because you're too scared. And these questions, if answered, can help us try to avoid the next catastrophe. But maybe your cognitive function cannot perceive that. Sad.
Anyone else think the massive floods in Texas July 4th were unnatural? That's because they were. According to the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, cloud seeding was done in Texas 2 days before the incident by a company called Rainmaker that's funded by Peter Thiel, the same guy behind Project Stargate, a $500 billion investment into AI infrastructure in the United States. In fact, Rainmaker uses drones to do their dirty work. According to public records, Rainmaker was cloud seeding just 2 days before the catastrophic event. Weather modification is nothing new, dating all the way back to the 1800s. Climate change is not a conspiracy because it's actually happening, but not for the reasons you've been told, because they're making it happen.